Hey, what's up, guys? Oh my god, dude. Yeah. It's getting old. It's getting old. I'm getting old. But, yeah, I got nothing, dude. This is like, you know, um, there's, yeah, I'm just turning on the camera for my entertainment purposes only. So, remember, any and everything I say could be wrong. That's why I always say, do your own research. Come to your own conclusions. And I listened to the talk today. I listened to some of the usual suspects. Richie from Boston still going off crazy about Trump. Yeah, Richie's crazy about Trump. I've never really cared too much one way or the other about a president. It's like, whatever. What does it matter? Has any president really ever done anything that's made a big enough of an impact in an individual's life? No. And, I'm 50. The biggest impact that any president has made in my lifetime would be Trump. But does that mean much of anything? Not really. Maybe a little bit, but who cares? It's just like whatever, blah. It's just more of the same. It's more of the same of whatever it was, whatever it has been, Now, Richie from Boston's crazy about Trump, man. He's going crazy over Trump. Maybe Richie from Boston and Trump ought to get a room or something. It's get crazy. It's just crazy, right? So whatever, that's what I'm saying. It's like, who cares, really? So I watched Richie from Boston for a little while. It's like, okay, all right, I've heard. I know. The only one that is even really is reasonable is Mark Dice. So I watched Mark Dice this morning. And of course, it's about the tariffs, tariffs. I don't know, man. It's like, whatever, dude. Tariff. I could share my views on the tariff, but which I did yesterday, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if I'm totally right. It doesn't matter. Never does. And then, so what else did I watch? I watched a little bit of Styx, Hex, and Hammer about whatever, nothing. I watched Razor Fist talking about the tariffs. Yeah, and it's just kind of like, whatever. There's what does it matter to? There's no point in engaging. There's no point in it. It's totally pointless to engage. The only point there would be to engage is for my entertainment purposes only. But, it gets old. It's like, it doesn't matter, dude, none of it matters, Everything is as it's pretty much always been. I've never seen anything that's like, oh my God, I've never been like shocked. Where I'm like, oh my God, this, It's always been like, yep, saw that coming. Like this whole thing in COVID with the lockdowns and everything, dude, totally saw that coming. COVID, the whole thing about COVID, totally saw it. In the sense, so like with COVID, I talked about this already, in the last week. I already went through, say no to drugs. Say no to drugs. Oh my God, this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. It's an egg frying in a frying pan. I've already seen, dude, they do this all the time. I'm 50 years old. Oh my God, dude, I'm surprised. People my age must not remember the commercials, the say no to drugs commercials. This is your brain on drugs, all that. Oh my God. Everything is a big panic hysteria over drugs. Then AIDS. Oh my God. Everybody's dying from AIDS. I've already seen all this shit. AIDS, fucking say no to drugs. I'm sure there's like one or two others that I smoked those memories away a long time ago. But I don't smoke weed, by the way, but I used to. Whatever. But and so when COVID came, COVID is the same thing as AIDS and HIV was back in the 90s. COVID is the same as the say no to drugs era was back in the 80s. I've already seen it. So when this thing, they, you know, and it was nothing to me. It was just, here we go again, more bullshit, right? So dude, and it's gonna happen again. There's gonna be another say no to drugs hysteria. There's gonna be another everybody's dying from AIDS hysteria. There's gonna be another everybody's getting COVID. It's gonna happen again, and then again, and again. And so when that happened in 2019, I was like, whatever, dude, whatever, you know. It made no impact on me at all. Mostly I just laughed at it. It was like, but the thing is, when it came out, when the hysteria came out, boy, it spread like wildfire all over BitChute, to the point where I couldn't believe. I mean, I wasn't shocked, but it was like, I thought BitChute was a free speech platform. All these people, you know, they're just buying into this hysteria, hook, line, and sinker. And BitChute became what I call COVIDiodrome. Every video is about COVID in some way or other. It's like, dude, it's the same thing as the say no to drugs was. It's the same thing that AIDS was. It's all the same shit, right? So like the way I look at it, okay, is that I'm an individual. I'm not going to I can only decide for myself because I'm an individual. And so me as an individual, I decide for myself that that's what it is. COVID was just the same old hysteria bullshit that you see all the time. But still, people around me, they were freaking out about COVID. And so I'm like, okay. And sometimes they would try to convince me, like, well, you know, it's a real thing. And I'd be like, whatever. You know, I don't know anything about it. I don't know. You can tell me that it's real and that and people should be concerned about it. And you could tell me that, but I'm still an individual. I make my own decisions based off of, you know, and everybody has to make their own decisions, right? So my decision is I'm not going to pay attention to. I don't, you know, because I'm still fairly young. People get the flu and the common cold all the time. And I'm just not concerned about it at all. Now, if other people want to be concerned about COVID, that's their choice. And I'm not going to judge them one way or another. I don't care what other people do. It doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit. You know? If you want to believe in this COVID shit, that's the way I looked at it, is go ahead. That's your decision. I don't believe in it. It's the flu, bro. And, just like with the say no to drugs, you know, everybody's dropping like flies from smoking marijuana. It's like, dude, okay, believe whatever you want. My parents believed that. And as a result, they put me in a drug and alcohol inpatient program because they knew that I smoked weed on the weekends. And that my parents totally freaked out that me as a teenager was smoking weed. Even though my parents grew up in the 60s when everybody was fucking frying on acid 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My parents drank the Kool-Aid on the Say No to Drugs, just like all these other boomers. And yeah, my parents were so freaked out that they made sure to lock me up in an institution because I was smoking marijuana on the weekends. And they knew I was. And so I was locked in an institution. And what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? You know, are you going to sneak in your parents' bedroom while they're asleep and beat them to death with the baseball bat? I mean, that's not my style. Maybe that's yours, but whatever. And so, whatever. It's like, whatever, dude. There's a friend of mine who used to say this, and it's true. No matter what my perception is, the truth of the matter is there are no big deals. There just aren't any big deals. There really aren't. But people don't like that. They'll be, how dare you say there are no big deals? Don't you know this happened and this is happening and that's happened and fucking, you know, you really need to freak out. Like, you know, it's like, no, I don't. No, I don't. Go ahead, freak out. I don't care. I don't fucking care. And there really aren't. There really are no big deals. I know it's even hard for me to believe. Like the shit that I went through in 2022, I went through some totally insane shit. And in the moment, it's like, I was like, dude, this is fucking crazy. But looking back, it's like, there are no big deals. I got through it. What happened to me in 2020 was totally insane. And nobody would believe what happened to me. But I made it through it. And still to this day, nobody would believe me if I told them. They might believe parts of it or whatever. But nobody's going to believe. And I don't fucking care. Why should I care? I don't care what you believe or don't. You know, I don't give a shit. But in the moment, it was a big deal. What happened to me in 2022, in the moment, while it's happening, it was like, what the fuck? Like, I was fucking tripping the fuck out. In hindsight, it's just whatever, dude. It's whatever. There are no big deals. And the thing that saved me from what happened to me in 2020 was that I was able to, of no virtue of my own, I was able to maintain enough calm and able to hold enough of my own sanity and peace of mind that I was able to walk through that. It wasn't easy, but that's what it, you know. And I brought this up before, like I was looking up some of my old friends, my old crazy friends, because I was gonna see what they thought about what was happening to me, and maybe even if any of them were interested in helping me fight back against this insanity. You know, I was not gonna turn away their help. So I started reaching out, and the first guy I reached out to had the exact same thing happen to him in 2020, and he did freak out. And the end result of him fucking freaking out over it was he got in a fucking shootout with the cops and died. Therefore, the grace of God go I. Or however you want to interpret that, you know. That was me. If I hadn't held enough of my cool and peace of mind, that's what would have happened to me, is what happened to my friend. I would have fucking lost my shit and ended up in a shootout with the cops. So, but anyways, yeah, but like, yeah, no, there are no, so they're trying to say, like, in 2019, there's this big deal happening, it's this major big deal, and then, you know, and I'm like, here we go again. I've already seen all this shit before with the Say No to Drugs, AIDS, and all this, whatever else. Like I said, there's others, I'm sure. And it's just a bunch of over-sensationalized, overhyped hysteria. That's all it is. Every fucking time, you know. And you live through enough of these, it's just common. It'll happen again, and I'll be like, here we go again. More of these, and you'll see all these people drinking the Kool-Aid on it. They're freaking out. They're running around. They're, you know, going crazy because of some 2019, revisit 2019 all over again. And there's nothing that you or I could do about it. The people are going to just lose their shit over this stuff. And it's nothing. It's just nonsense. That's all. It's all nonsense. It's all pain. That's all it is pain. So, and there's always something, again. So like with watching Richie from Boston, it's weather manipulation. It's always something. The Anunnaki control everything. This is all a simulation. And there's always something to try to create hysteria around. And you know what happens with these hysterias? Some person or group of people always ends up, coincidentally, of course, walking away with all the money. Think about how much money they made off of AIDS. Think of how much money was made off of the say no to drugs. It's all the same. Think of how much money was made in 2019. It's always the same thing. There's always some big thing, some big deal that's going on, and everybody needs to freak the fuck out about it. We all need to freak out. And it never ends. It's always something. It's always something. But you know what? You know what really happens is it always ends up being, it's just another day. Look at 2019. Remember 2019? Now look at what happened with all that. Was it this big pandemic? No. And then, the other thing that's funny is when the lockdowns came, I already knew the lockdowns were coming. That's why I left California. I left California 2 or 3 years prior to the 2019-2020 lockdowns because I knew that was going to happen. And I'm glad that I left, because when I left, I was in a little tiny town out in the middle of nowhere. The lockdowns in cities, like in California and these big cities, was a fucking nightmare in comparison to like towns like this little town I was in. This little town that I was in was like nothing. Even elderlies, the majority of the elderlies there, they wouldn't even wear a mask, dude. Even like the elderlies weren't wearing masks. Nobody was. Nobody fucking, it was, and on top of that, the other thing that's funny about the lockdowns, because, dude, I'm telling you, I knew this shit was, that's my whole thing about homelessness, is like, dude, you want to talk about, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm tired of repeating the same thing over and over again, and nobody listens, dude. Nobody's going to listen. It's just like trying to get someone who believes COVID is real, trying to get them to listen and be like, listen to reason. Like, bro, you're freaking the fuck out over nothing. They're not going to listen. Nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody's going to listen to me because people are just going to freak out about all this shit. They're going to freak out about AIDS. They're going to freak out about say no to drugs. They're going to freak out about COVID. And then the next thing is coming. They're freaking out about tariffs, freaking out about Trump, freaking out about any and everything. Just everything is just, oh my God, freak the fuck out. It's like, dude. And like I said, see, I knew this shit, like this lockdown thing was coming. I knew it was. And the reason that I knew is because I observe homelessness and poverty. Dude, Gandhi was right when Gandhi said you can measure a society by how it treats its poor. You look at how American society treats its poor. American society treats its poor with lockdowns. That's how American society treats its poor, is with lockdowns. And they've been locking all these poor and homeless people down. Lock them down. It's illegal to be homeless. Lock them up. Lock them down. Institutionalize them. They're crazy. They're mentally ill. Everybody freak out and impose lockdowns upon the homeless because they're all lazy, shitty people. They're the evil people. And everybody believes it, and they all freak out. And then they're locking up all the homeless people, or make sure homeless is illegal. Everything, like, freak out about the homeless. And that poem from World War II is also true. First they came for the whatever. First they came for the Jews, and I wasn't a Jew, so I didn't say anything. Well, but then they came for the Polish, but I wasn't Polish, so I didn't say anything. Then they came for the Russians, but I wasn't Russian, so I didn't say anything. Well, then they started coming for me, and nobody was there to stand up for me. And guess what happened when they came for me? I got locked down. Lockups, lockdowns. Everything is lock them up, lock down. We need to lock everything down. Lock them up, lock it down. Dude, they've been doing this lock them up, lock them down shit with the homeless poor in this fucking country like forever, dude. And that's what that World War II poem means. If you fucking let them treat any group of people like that, they're coming for you, you dumb motherfuckers. And nobody understands this. To this day, they still don't understand that that's what the whole point, that is what the whole thing that behind the lockdowns in 2019. Dude, they've been locking massive groups of people down in this fucking country way before the COVID lockdowns. That's why I knew it was coming. That's why I left California, dude. Because California, man, they lock it down more than it fucking, not by much, but they're the worst. And in these big cities, all these hysterias get taken over by big cities. AIDS, like the AIDS hysteria. These people in these cities, they just start freaking the fuck out because of AIDS. Everybody's dropping like flies from AIDS. Same with say no to drugs. These big cities start freaking out about the say no to drugs. Everybody's dropping like flies from marijuana. And when these hysterias come, that's the last place you want to be, is in one of these fucking shithole cities, dude. And I wasn't in the city when the lockdown happened in 2019. I wasn't in the city. I was in a town of a population of like 1,200 people. And I heard stories. I've got tons of friends in Sacramento. I mean, dude, the lockdowns and all that shit has fucking devastated Sacramento to this very day. I've got tons of friends who went through the lockdowns in Sacramento, Tucson, fucking all these big cities where these lockdowns, dude, these people, I mean, it was a fucking nightmare in comparison to being in that town of like 1,200 people population, And it's because I knew that it was going to happen. Then it happens. Like 2.5 years after I leave, sure enough, then it happens. And everybody's freaking out. It's like, dude, I don't... that saying where it's like, don't you get sick of being right, And the other thing, too, that's retarded is you can be, like, totally right about shit. But, and these people, they still aren't convinced. They'll still act and talk as though you don't know what you're talking about, even though you've proven them wrong over and over and over and over. It doesn't matter how many times you prove them wrong. They still pretend like there's something, like you're the one that's... I'm just sick of it, dude. So, and I look around at all this talk online and everything. It's all bullshit, dude. It's all just fucking bullshit. Every last bit, it's like total bullshit, dude. So what is there to talk about? There's nothing even to do commentary on. Because it doesn't matter if I could do commentary and be right like 90 to 100% of the time. Do you think that's going to matter at all? It's not at all. It's going to matter. It's not going to matter at all. Not one bit. If my commentary, if I posted like 4 videos a week and did like 20-minute videos, 4 videos a week, and everything in my commentary was 100% right, would it matter at all? Not in the least. It wouldn't make any more difference than if my commentary was fucking 100% wrong. It wouldn't. And this is true. Like, I'll reiterate it. I could do commentary, like 20-minute videos 4 times a week. And even if I was 100% right in every single video I dropped 4 times a week, it wouldn't matter any more than if all those videos that I did, I was 100% wrong. It wouldn't matter. And this is true. Anybody who's made it this far in the video, this is true. In the grand scheme of things, it wouldn't matter either way whether I was 100% right or 100% wrong. It wouldn't matter. In the big picture. So it's like, what do commentary on what? Like, what? But it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't even matter what I say. Here I am doing commentary. And just doing it for my entertainment purposes, I suppose. I can't really see any other reason why I or anyone else would do commentary on anything at all. Except for one's own entertainment purposes. That's the only reason. So I watched the videos today. I took a pulse on the talk. What are people talking about? And it's all just bullshit, dude. It's all just complete fucking utter bullshit. So whatever. And I could do videos like explaining how this is bullshit and that's bullshit. But again, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter anymore if I was 100% right in my assessment of how this is bullshit and this is bullshit and this. It wouldn't matter any more that I was 100% right than it would if I was 100% wrong. It wouldn't make a difference at all. Not one bit of difference. It really wouldn't. So, I know I'm opening and closing the door. I'm half out of it, dude. I've been working every day for over 6 weeks now. Every fucking day working. I'm so fucking sick of this shit, but whatever. What are you gonna do, man? So, I forgot where I was kind of going, the direction I was going. Let me see if I could, yeah, so I was looking at what the talk, none of it matters. It's all just talk. It's all talk about nothing. And nobody's gonna listen. Nobody listens to anyone else. That's why, another reason why it doesn't matter what I say, because nobody listens to anybody. Nobody does. And so, to respond to anything that I see or hear on the internet it would be like no point in it at all. I'm looking for my lighter. I guess I'll just light it on the stove. My back is fucked, dude. Yeah. So anyway. So I'll try to remember where I was going. Can't seem to remember. Maybe I already covered where I was going. Maybe I already touched on everything. Oh, there's my lighter. Shit. So I'll smoke the cigarette and then we'll turn the camera off. But there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. Religion, politics, all of this stuff. Religion, politics, what else is there? That's it. Religion and politics. Well, it's all bullshit. Gandhi was also right when he said there are about as many religions as there are people in the world. So, are you gonna debunk every single religion in the world when there are about as many religions as there are people in the world? I mean, it's all bull. It's like what? Yeah. So because I still got, I gotta come up with something to talk about. No, not gonna bring that up. It's like, no, it doesn't matter what you bring up. Someone's always gonna freak out about it, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter. I mean, I could talk about. Let's try to think of something that I could bring up to talk about that isn't gonna like totally freak somebody out. Trees. Yeah. Oh yeah. Who cares about trees anyway? So anyway, yeah, this all comes back to the same thing. You know what the common denominator in everything that's going on in the world is? You. You are the common denominator in any and everything that's going on in your world. The common denominator in any and all of it is you. Same with me. And what's going on in the world as it relates to me. The common denominator is always the same. Self. It's always the common denominator. Whatever it is that's going on, You know, weather manipulation, the weather wars, weather controlling the weather manipulation. Well, okay, what's the common denominator with the weather manipulation? What's the common denominator in that? Is me. You know, I can't experience your life. I can't experience what you are doing or seeing or experiencing or believing or thinking. I can only experience what I'm experiencing. Common denominator is always self. It always comes back to self. You know, the majority of everything that I see is mundane. All I see is mundane. Everything is mundane. Everybody's just going to work. Burpy doopy derp. Go to work. Derp. That's it. Work, eat, sleep, shit. Work, eat, sleep, shit. Work, produce, consume. Work, produce, consume. Mundane. It's all mundane. You know, somebody would be talking, Richie from Boston's talking about the weather wars. They're manipulating, and I'm looking around. Here I am. There's the sun. You see the bright sun on my face? There's some weather. I can feel the weather. I feel the sun. And Richie from Boston will tell me, there's weather wars. They're gonna, it's all about the weather wars, weather manipulation. Well, all I see is, you know, it's a warm day. It's pretty warm out here. That sun is kind of, you know, bright, and I'm feeling a little uncomfortably hot. It isn't too bad, you know. I'm maybe sweating a little, but outside of that, you know, whatever. If it gets too hot, I can just put my cigarette out and go in the air-conditioned building. But weather wars, you know, there's this spiritual warfare. There's interdimensional beings. Well, I look around. I don't know. I suppose if I really look hard, I could see what might be interdimensional beings. But those could just be floaters. You know what a floater is? Floaters is when as your eyes start to as you get older, your eyes start to and you'll see floaters. And a floater is kind of like, almost like a little black dot. And as I look, the black dot will move over there. If I look over here, it'll move over here. So it kind of they're called floaters. Look it up. Do your own research. Come to your own conclusion. But maybe those aren't floaters. Maybe those are actual interdimensional beings that are assigned to me, and they're there to, no matter where I go or look, they're always there because they're assigned to me. And there's the dark ones. The dark ones are visible, but if you really look at what they call a floater, you can see inside the dark ones, there's light. There's like a ring of light. And then when you start to see the ring of light inside the dark floater, you start to see there's light ones all over the place. And light, you can almost see the light. But are those just floaters? Who knows? You know, are they interdimensional beings, or are they just floaters? Well, nobody knows these things for sure. That's why it can be good to talk about things that nobody knows, because then how are you going to be proven wrong? Nobody knows. You can try to prove me wrong when I'm talking about I'm seeing interdimensional beings, but you don't know for sure whether I'm seeing them or not. You don't know. So therefore, I could just go on and on and on and on about interdimensional beings and insist that they're there, and, you know, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Haven't you ever heard the Fish song, the band Fish? They have that song that goes, maybe so and maybe not. You can apply that saying, maybe so and maybe not, to just about anything that anybody says. Somebody says something, oh, well, the trees are actually really alive and they have consciousness and they can see and feel and this and that. Maybe so and maybe not. Oh, there's interdimensional beings everywhere. There's a spiritual war. Maybe so and maybe not. Oh, the HAARP weather weapons are, you know, they're creating tornadoes everywhere. It's going to be out. Maybe so and maybe not. Oh, we're in the end times, you know, everything is, it's the end times. The dragon, seven-headed dragon will be coming out. Maybe so and maybe not. Maybe so and maybe not. Maybe so and maybe not. These words in life I saw. Oh, Jesus is Jesus is the only way. Maybe so and maybe not. Oh, Jesus is just a conspiracy created to control the masses. Maybe so and maybe not. Yeah. There are things that I can like this cigarette. If I put this cigarette and I say, I wonder if this would hurt my head if I put the cigarette out my forehead. Well, I could say maybe so or maybe not, but then I could actually do it and find out if that's true or not, right? I could say maybe so and maybe not. Let's try it, and then and go, that did hurt. Well, it's no longer a maybe so or maybe not. That's a concrete fact. That if I put the cherry of this cigarette onto my skin, it's going to burn and hurt. There is no debate about that. So there are things in life that are concrete, and then there are things that you just don't really know for sure. So I could make claims about all kinds of stuff, concrete claims about all kinds of stuff, but that there is no concrete evidence one way or the other. Like God. Oh, God exists. God rules. Maybe so and maybe not. Oh, God doesn't exist. It's just a conspiracy they use to control. Maybe so and maybe not. On and on. There's so much of this shit talk on the internet where it's like there is no concrete evidence one way or the other. The person may be right. The person may be wrong. It's hard to admit when a person doesn't know. Oh, there goes back to self again. Self. Can I admit when I don't know something? Am I capable of just admitting, no matter how much it might hurt me to admit to myself and others, can I in fact admit to myself that there are things that I don't know for sure? Maybe so and maybe not. Maybe so and maybe not. The solar garlic starts to rot. Maybe so and maybe not. Yeah. There is one thing I do know. My back hurts. I know my back hurts. There is no maybe so and maybe not. I might be able to think, oh, maybe the pain's gone in my back. And then I'll go up to get out of this chair and be like, oh, nope, it hurts. No more maybe so and maybe not. There it is. I can feel that pain. Pain. Maybe so and maybe not. You know? Oh, Trump is just a part of the maybe so and maybe not. Oh, Trump is the greatest president. Maybe so and maybe not. You know? Who the fuck knows? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. That's why so much everything is just bullshit. People make claims of things that they know when they don't provide any concrete proof that they know these things. So you could just keep saying these things, but really most people, pretty much everybody, is just gonna be like, whatever, just some more shit, just more whatever. I know the sun is hot. It's hot. I know that much. I can feel the sweat on my brow. I know that. But as far as oh, this is happening and that's happening and all the baby's body parts flying all over in Palestine. Maybe so and maybe not. Oh, it's all just orchestrated, staged, political. Maybe so and maybe not. I mean, it never ends. Oh, that football team, they won. Maybe so and maybe not, because football could be rigged. Maybe so and maybe not. Oh, that one person, he's so successful. Maybe so and maybe not. Maybe he just was born into a rich family and he's not really successful. He was born into success. Maybe so and maybe not. Oh, those poor people, they're all losers. Maybe so and maybe not. Maybe they were just born into poverty and, what do we know? Anyways, whatever, right? Whatever.